between fighter and trainer has been strengthened over time and has survived questions regarding Berestein's guidance outside the ring.
There was a huge amount of criticism of Nacho Berestein, the manager, after Marquez walked away from a rematch with Pacquiao, went to Indonesia, fought Chris John, lost his title. There's rarely, if ever, been that same criticism of him as a trainer. I think there's a recognition that the two work very well together indeed in the corner.
The relationship dates back decades, when two precocious young punchers, Juan and his brother Rafael, were brought to the gym by their father, a semi-pro fighter himself. Juan Marquez Sr. was in search of someone who could cultivate his son's talent and keep them off the street. Not that sparring could have been expected to be a safe alternative.
No, no fueron sangrientas, pero violentas. Pues a veces Juan hacía chillar a Rafa. Pero de coraje, de impotencia, que no podía con él.
They are always competing in each other. Why? Because Rafael wants to be in the level that Juan Manuel is right now.
Years later, Juan Manuel and Rafael have 85 wins between them and have developed into one of the great brother-brother tandems in boxing history.
Going back in history, I don't think there's anything like the Marquez brothers. Outstanding fighters in different divisions at the same time. There have been many brother acts in boxing, but usually one has been dominant and the other one has just never made it to the elite level.
Training together keeps the brothers close. Meanwhile, outside the gym, family remains the focus for Juan, whose own wife and 3 children provide a nightly respite from workouts and a reminder of the rewards of victory on March 15th.
Yo creo que no hay el amor más verdadero que te puede dar más que tu familia, tus hijos y pues a mí el oírlos que llego y papá, ¿cómo estás? Y ya llegaste, estás cansado y eso pues me mantiene todavía de pie y aunque llego cansado y aburrido ya del entrenamiento, pero yo creo que eso es lo que me motiva más a seguir entrenando, a seguir poniéndole más empeño al gimnasio, porque te digo, todo lo que hago lo hago por ellos.
Venga, venga. Eso.
A close look at Manny Pacquiao is a display of the place family holds for the fighter. But with his wife and children back in the Philippines, for these 8 weeks of training here in Hollywood, there's no one closer to him than Freddie Roach. For most trainers, boxing is more than a business, and Roach is no exception.
Boxing is Freddie's life. He would rather live right next door, immediately next door to the gym than anywhere else. It's not just the commute, it's also he gets to spend as much time as he possibly can with the boxers.
Quick, yeah, quick. Speed.
Power.
The walls of Roach's wild card gym tell the stories of his life. But while there's a long list of championship fighters on his resume, his relationship with Pacquiao stands apart.
Manny, we're pretty tight. I've trained a lot of good fighters, and I've had like 20 world champions, but he's my best project. He was very talented when he came to me, but a little bit rough around the edges, and just smoothing him out and getting him to be a better fighter was my best work to date.
My mother's here, don't hit me so much.
Freddie is not only a trainer, but he's like my father and my brother. And he give me an advice every day.
You know, the thing is, like, people say I'm 47, I'm not married, I don't have any kids yet. I says, you know what, I got like 15 in the gym, and Pacquiao's my favorite one.
Try his lead out with the feints, okay?
He's just very loyal to me, and I'm very loyal to him, and I don't think he'll ever fight without me in his corner.
Roach first manned that corner in 2001, and Pacquiao's first fight in the U.S., when he was an unknown late replacement against South African Lelo Ledwaba.
I think this guy just hit so hard that Ledwaba is totally on the defensive. That's a TKO victory for the very impressive Manny Pacquiao.
In those days, his Hollywood accommodations were here, next door to the Wild Card Gym, just like his trainer. a time gone, but not forgotten.
We live here 4 years, since 2001 to 2005. You know, it's a very memorable place. I like here before because it's simple.
Now, life has become complicated as Pacquiao's star has grown. But there's one simple theme that still impacts everything he does: his Filipino pride. He's already run for congressional office and even produced a hit record that loudly and proudly exclaims the reason he fights: for his country.
Para sa'yo, ang laban na to. Para sa'yo. I need to win this fight because I don't want to disappoint my countrymen. I want them to be always happy. You know, it's my honor to bring the honor to my country.
Still, though he's trained for over a dozen fights in the wild card, it wasn't until last month that he gave Roach an authentic Filipino flag to replace the paper version that's hung here for years.
Give it to you, the real flag of the Philippines. See? Like that. Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Every weekend, Juan Manuel Marquez takes a 3-hour trip to high-altitude training, to places like Nevado de Toluca, one of 3 volcanoes that surround the capital. It's a 16,000-foot journey to the crater, a 16,000-foot unforgiving test of commitment to the task at hand.
He doesn't give up. You need to kill Juan Manuel Marquez in order to defeat him, in order to take away something from him that cost him many punches, many years of dedication.
Even Marquez himself admits that 2004 marked the start of a lost period in his career, as opportunities quickly dried up, costing him titles and respect.
He got lucky. He got a second chance. He signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and I think from that signing, I think he began to work his way back.
Big left hook for Marquez. Suddenly he's beating Barrera to the punch over and over and over.
He desperately needed to beat Marco Antonio Barrera last year.
Uppercut for Marquez. Left hook. Barrera stunned.
And he did.
Big left hook for Marquez. And the bell ends the drama. What a fight.
That was really the watershed moment of Juan Manuel Marquez's career.
The victory over Barrera certified his return to relevancy in the division. And now, finally, 4 years after the controversial draw against Pacquiao, Marquez's odyssey has circled back to where it began.
He's having the last laugh in that he got away from his promoter, which he wanted to do. He's getting a rematch with Pacquiao for a pretty decent amount of money. He managed to not only face but also beat one of his contemporaries and countrymen, Barrera. So in a way, he's back where he should have been. It's just taken 3 or 4 years.
Siempre me he caracterizado por tener la paciencia, la calma y hacerlo todo con inteligencia y gracias a Dios me ha funcionado. Ahorita Barrera ya no está, Morales ya no está, el que queda soy yo y más vale tarde que nunca.
A long journey can have unintended consequences. For Juan Manuel Marquez, the journey to boxing oblivion and back has left him standing, while his countrymen's time has passed. Meaning in this fight, more than ever before, the hopes of a nation will be riding on his back, rising and falling on the strength of his fists and the depth of his spirit.
Mexican boxing fans see in their fighters an expression of who they are. And so their elite fighters touch something deep within their fans.
Por eso me estoy preparando bastante bien, me estoy preparando, yo creo que, como siempre lo he dicho, siempre en cada pelea me preparo bien y en esta me estoy preparando mejor ¿Por qué? Porque hay muchas esperanzas en mí, la gente mexicana y los fans y todo esperan que le gane a Manny Pacquiao, y es lo que voy a intentar hacer el 15 de marzo.
Mexican pride is everything. Marquez realizes with this win, he not only solidifies his own legacy, but he will finally get that acceptance from Mexican fight fans.
It's been 4 years since Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao fought to a draw. Since that night, their paths have diverged, but ultimately brought them back to the same place.
I've never seen Manny so focused for a fight. He's a machine. He's just really tightened down, and he's working really hard.
For Pacquiao, this fight is redemption for the last 10 rounds of the first fight. And even though he had a draw, it felt like a defeat. And although he's gone on to great things, Marquez is the guy he's got to beat.
If Marquez wins the fight, then he has reached a brand new high water mark for him, a level of prominence and exposure where he's never been before.
On March 15th, a dispute of the past is revived with a battle in the present, as time finally brings these two fighters together once more.
This is a matchup that you've been waiting for 4 years. It's the coming together of national pride. Both fighters, in their minds and hearts, believe they cannot lose.
Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao square off in the rematch live on HBO pay-per-view, Saturday, March 15th. Also, The Next Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel premieres Monday, March 10th, featuring a profile of Bruce Pearl, the coach who's turned the University of Tennessee's men's basketball program from also-ran to powerhouse.
This has been a presentation of HBO.